This is my model for today for our 2 eye looks. I'm going to be creating 2 different eyes, but I'll do the skin work first before we do the brows and all of that. For people that want to learn this makeup personally, don't get confused. I'm going to explain. I'm going to try and explain very well how you can do this makeup for yourself at home too. So first thing first, I am going to clean our face. Now I'm using a wipe to clean. I'm not using a cleanser. I'm using just wipes to clean because our face is a bit clean. I've cleaned it like twice before now. I'm cleaning again. So there's something called CTM, cleansing, toning, and moisturizing. So we're just going to cleanse now, then I'll moisturize. I won't tone. So I finished cleansing, so I'm going to moisturize with Misetic. It's very easy to get, it's everywhere. And this is my moisturizer. I'll just go in little portions. It's not for everybody, because people with very oily skin, you're going to make them more oily. So you take very little portions, very little. And I am applying in a circular motion, same way if you are applying your makeup personally at home. I'm still going to do the same way. Circular motions all over the skin. So after that, I am going to prime. Priming, I'm going to use 2 primers. My model is a bit oily, so I'm going to use Rimmel London and Pond's. So I'll be using Pond's for just at T-zones, the parts that are very, very oily. And in our brows too. We don't want our brows string. So I don't like putting too much primer under the eyes, so it doesn't carry too much load. I don't like putting too much primer, just a little bit. Just sweep and pass under the eyes and every other area of the face. So circular motion still, so everything can blend in very, very well. I like going in with a lot of primers sometimes, especially when my client or model's face is oily, but not so oily. So that's why I like Rimmel London. So for this class too, I'm going to be using so that's all for primer. Next thing we're going to do now is to apply our foundation, and I am using Superstay 356. This is my model's shade. This is a bit darker now. I'm going to use it like that. So I like starting from, I'm just going to go with a very little one. Look this way, darling. Look this way. I like starting from the chin. I don't know why, but I like starting from the chin, which is not so far from the neck. I like using almost a bit closer foundation, not so dark, not so light. So after tapping in, it's going to be just what I want. So with the little I tapped in now, we have been doing a lot. Like foundation went far. So if you are doing a very neat skin work, you don't have to put too much foundation, very little. Tap to the ears and bring a bit down to the neck, so everywhere will be the same. This way, darling. So same thing here. And my beauty blender is a bit moist. I don't like putting too much foundation under the eyes so it doesn't carry too much load and my client doesn't look very tired, because once under the eyes has too many things going on, maybe, thank you, she's going to look tired. And same thing there, I am not putting too much foundation on her hairline. I'm probably going to use the clean side of the beauty blender to tap close to her hairline, so we don't put foundation on her hairline. Take notes please, usually with people with so much hair. I'm using the clean part whenever I'm coming close to her hairline. So this part is another part I like putting foundation, side of the eyes, so everywhere in the face is going to be even, and our highlight is not going to be looking too highlighted, and the low light, which is our contour, will not be looking so dark. Just put your lips inside. So this is the third time I'm touching, or the fourth time I'm touching my foundation. I'm taking little drops. So at the end of the day, for people doing personal makeup days, make sure, turn this way, darling. Make sure your foundation is not so far from your exact shade, so your face will be looking very light. Even with foundation on, make sure everywhere is okay. And so that's it for foundation. That is it for foundation. So we're going to highlight now with Zaron concealer, and I'm using deep. Zaron is everywhere, and this is medium. This is just 2 shades lighter. This is 1 shade lighter. Look at that. So I'm not putting too much. Still, very little goes a long way. You have to see that you need it first, so you tap in gradually from underneath the eyes. This, for me, this is what makes makeup really clean. Once under your eyes are clean, your makeup is clean. Make sure you tap in and there is no creasing from anywhere. Gently. Same thing goes for here. And the secret of doing skin work is using 1 shade lighter, 1 shade darker. Do not go too far when you're highlighting. Do not use something too light. Up again. So for me, once I'm highlighting under my eyes is the major part. So it's highlighted, but I want it a bit highlighted. So this is 2 shade lighter. Just drops. Okay, cool. Tapping in to make sure there is no line on the face where I started and where I ended my concealer. So we're going to do same thing for the nose. 2 drops of 2 shades lighter, 2 drops of 1 shade lighter still. So we're going to tap, and when tapping, do not add too much pressure. So it's not compulsory to highlight underneath the chin, except you want it to look a bit longer. You know, highlight is to make something pop, and low light is to make it hide. So for me, she has a very short chin, so I wanted to show a bit. That's the only reason I'm doing this. I don't do it for everybody, so, and it depends on how you feel to. Up again. So after doing my concealer, I still go in up please to tap. If you notice here, I've looked down and it's having little creases already. I'm going to tap in. Before you apply your setting powder, make sure there is no line under your eyes or your client's eyes. Make sure there is no line, because the line will continue from there and it will continue to break. So now I want to go in with the setting powder, but most times I like waiting for a little while for my concealer to sink in, and I'm still holding my concealer beauty blender. Look up darling, to make sure there is no line and my concealer is a bit dried. I don't use a lot of creamy products so that it's going to be dried at the end of the day. That's why I like Varon concealer. So I'll be using Mino Beauty setting powder, the Nigerian brand too, and it's just one shade lighter than her. One shade, exactly one shade. So, and I am using another beauty blender for it. This one is a dried beauty blender, and a bit moist, but it's dried because I've been washed since. Please look up again. Okay, so I still see the lines, so make sure you please look up. Thank you. Before you set. So I'm setting with a very little setting powder. I'm not putting too much. I'm not putting too much on her skin. Just exactly where I want to be highlighted. That is where I am putting my setting powder. Very little. And I am tapping in to make sure the setting powder goes into her skin completely. So turn the way, with or without setting powder. Look this way. Good. Okay. Very little. When doing skin work, little does the magic, not too much. Up still. Thank you. So after setting, you will notice the lines under her eyes. I like to highlight with cream products and set with a lighter product like the setting powder. But when doing my contour, I like using just powder, because I don't want my client looking too dark. For me, it's easy to correct highlights than to correct contour when it goes wrong. So for this, it's still not compulsory. Just the same way we added a little, we should just highlight it with powder. So this is the powder I'm going to be using. Adventure. I don't know, my own is a bit dirty. Sorry. Inside my bag. I use it too much, that's why. So for contour, I'm going to be using this dark shade for her, so it's not so dark. For the nose, first of all, and see the type of brush I'm using is a angle fluffy brush. Whenever I want to contour the nose, it helps me, makes it easier. So for the nose, I'm not going to use a very dark powder. I'm just very little goes a long way, and I will trace it out just like this to the brows, then down. So same thing happens the other way. From the head of the brow down. if you do this properly, you don't have to put bronzer all over the nose anymore because it's already well chiseled. So sometimes if I want to, I do this with cream product, like using a dark shade of concealer, but I don't do that all the time. So for our face, I'm going to contour our face. Sorry darling, look side. I'm going to use this shade, the darker one. This one, darling. So whenever I want to contour face, depend on the type of face. Like from my ear to a cheek, but not so down, because I'm going to give space for blush here and bronzer just on top of our chin. So whenever I'm doing contour, just from the ears down, not so much, not down, not for everybody, and a hairline. For people with very long forehead, I use my dark powder on the hairline to bring it down a bit. So I'm going to do the same thing, not so much, just from my ear a bit, then a hairline. There shouldn't be any space where foundation is showing on the hairline. And whenever you're handling a dark powder, you have to be very careful so you don't come out. I cannot correct it afterwards. So it's time for brows. Why I really like this process is because it's very fast. It's very fast. Once you are able to understand your skin or the skin of your clients, it makes doing makeup really, really fast. So like I said, I am going to be using all the products everybody can get everywhere. David's pencil, the most popular pencil in the market and most affordable too. I think it's 100 naira. So that's what I'm going to be using. So I am just going to place my hand gently on her skin and trace her brows. Our hairline, I'm following our hairline. I'm not going outside of our hairline. So I am not starting from here, I'm starting from here. So the head of our brow is going to have a very natural feel. So I've traced out our brow. I am just going to feel out. Like feeling dry, sorry. So sometimes I just create strokes to make it really look natural. So that's it. How many minutes did that brow take? Not so long. Very easy. If your brows are well shaped, that is how short green brows should take. So now I'm not going to. So then you just brush with your spoolie. That's it. So that's it for the brows. Without concealing, they are looking this clean. Without concealing them, they are looking this clean. I feel this one is a bit higher. Sorry, sometimes correcting brows can just spoil it. So I'm just trying my best not to spoil this one. So this is how your brows should look, even without concealing. They should be well defined. So concealer is just going to help you push it up and make it look more defined, not like it's a correction to the brow. It is very, very easy. The deep concealer and Younger Beauty Angle brush of your right. Same way, I am not starting from the beginning. I'm starting from here because I still want my brow to have the natural feel at the beginning. So, and I'm following directly how I drew it. I'm not going outside of the brow. So I'm just going to trace carefully to the front, but so I'm just putting the concealer. I am going to blend in, and because I've done every other thing, you have to be careful when blending in your concealer. Now I'm just bringing it inside. I can't blend outside, like I can't blend like this. Instead, I'm blending it inside, and I'm just tapping with a blending brush. So now we're still going to blend in same way from where you blend in, and we are blending in from this side too. And I'm tapping whenever I'm going close because I still want my concealer to pop from this part. Tap with the brows. So now we're going to do our eyeshadow, and I am going to be using Assurance eyeshadow primer. Close your color. Just a little bit goes a very long way. So for these eyes, I'll be doing pink eyes, pink. Enough eyeshadow to blend at the side. At the side, at the side. At the side. So it's not compulsory to use more for. You can use any other eyeshadow that you have. So just turn this way like this. So whenever you are applying this eyeshadow at this, try not to get so close to the concealer. Try. So even while I am doing that, there will always be a clear brush. Sorry, I have to be showing the colors I'm using, but I'm using something really light. The mauve palette I've gone through hell and back, so please don't mind, it's still my favorite. And the colors are still very pigmented, so I can't buy a new one now. It's further notice. So with that part, so I'm going to be using a pink pigment. This pigment, I got it from Ego Gele, I think 2000, I'll be 15. It's very pigmented. So I'm just going to, now whenever I'm doing a matte color, that's why I was using a blend brush. So whenever flat eyeshadow brush, sorry darling, close, and press in and drag. So I'm just pressing in and dragging gradually. You like the pigment, right? Like it's very pigmented. So your normal pink eyeshadow can pass for this, or your gold eyeshadow can pass for this. It's very, very easy. Easy breezy. And I'm still going to do this with that beauty. My favorite voice broken, but what can I do? You like how I'm going to put this to this end. So try to blend in the colors. Open your eyes, please. Extra. You start people here. Something like that. So I'm still going in with my dark brown on this side. And the 9 eyeshadow primer. So a little tap, sorry please, close the eyes, goes a long way to so for this part of the eyes, we are going to be doing a brown smoky. Brown smoky with a little touch, a little twist. So all of these eyes I'm doing, you can actually you can leave it at any stage, or you mustn't do all of that in your own eyes or when you're doing yours. Like this pink one, I think I like the first pink shade. It's fine. I still like it now. It's fine too. So as I'm blending in the eyeshadow primer, I'm trying not to still go too far. Yeah, I think I'm about exceeding my limits, but this is fine. So whenever I'm doing my smoky eyes, I like having a feel of orange above it. I love this thing I'm doing right now. Forgive my brush, I'm still going to touch yellow soon. It gives tons of that way. Thank you. It gives this warmth feeling above it whenever I put orange first. Then I start going in with all my brownies. So depending on how dark you want it to be. So try as much as you can to blend in between the lines, so you don't have to find out where we started our orange from and where the brown started. So I'm working with all of these browns here. So I'm using a darker shade of orange now to give you a warmth here. I'm still not going above. So now I'm going darker now. And darker. And darker. So you see how we came down to this color. So we're starting with the darkest one. I like starting with the lightest color. It makes it very easy to blend. So you can just easily switch this to black and just tap in your black eyeshadow. Look has been switched. But brown smoky has been my favorite of all time. So for the tear dot, we're just going to put a little bit of gold eyeshadow here. So I'm just going to go into my yellow eyeshadow. Yellow and orange in a human skin together is heavenly. God, it gives this warm feel at the end. Can you see it? Okay. So I don't take it down, or just adjust this end most times. The mix of yellow and orange gives me I used to like it. You can try it though if it works for you, Sha. You can. So it's for eyes. My all-time favorite brown smoky eyes. So you can still rock your brown smoky without the gold tear dot. Some people do not like this tear dot thing. A lot of people do not like it, but I think it's fine. I think it's really fine. So right now I am done with both eyes and I like it. I hope you like it too. And I am going to line. Okay, no problem. Sorry. You can close your eyes now. Turn this way. Don't cry. Don't cry, please. Okay, turn this way. Just close your eyes now. It will be fine. So now I've traced it out from this corner. Close your eyes, just close it. No effects, let's see. So I am going to bring it out from this side first, then connect. start off for this eye. So open your eyes. So for here we're going to do just open your eyes. Open. Just look up. Everybody, don't mind my light, though. So this is where we start by creating this inner liner first before coming out. And I'm not going to be doing a wing liner for this eye. Just look up. I'm going to be very careful. I don't put things out, I can stand it up wrong. Put that back, put that back, yeah. Okay. Don't look up here, just look up smooth. Up. So I'm just connecting this side. Don't look up, sorry. Don't look up. So I'm just putting the lashes on top of our own lash, a natural eyelash, just on top, and our eyeliner still has to show. So for people with curly lashes, try to play with this a bit before you just press it down. Then the tip. Okay. So for this part that our mascara stained, I'm just going to touch with our brown shadow. And we're back. Let it dry first though before you touch. So for this part that our mascara stained, I'm just going to touch with our brown shadow. And we're back. Let it dry first though before you touch. The hands. And of course a darker shade. Up. So up again. So I'm just going to put gold glitters underneath the eyes. This is the glitter, and I'm using an applicator. You can choose to leave your eyes like this, the same way it is. So it's not compulsory. It's not for everybody. or one shade lighter. Up again. So for pigments, try to we're back. So for pigments, so after touching a lighter shade of powder, try to pick out, like dust off a bit, not to press in with a lighter powder. Up again, darling. Yes, before we can now start pressing in. I do that a lot. So everywhere that we highlighted before, we are going to highlight them again with a lighter powder. Same thing with the contour, just a bit. This way. After that, we are going to apply blush. So I'm using smile, please. Just on the apple of the cheek while smiling in circular motions. Smile like in circular motions. Chat, you look like a Russian girl. So I'm going to spice up this look with a little lower lashes. It's not compulsory to. Not compulsory at all. Not for everybody still, but it makes makeup finer. Just on top. Same with the other side. Up again. Okay. So that's it for under lashes. So now we are going to apply glow. I'm using glow pot and Yangabi too. Smile, please. Just on top of the secret side. Just on top of your cheek, smiling. Then blend it in, not too much. You know how you feel, sometimes smile. Sometimes I want my glow a lot. Sometimes I want it really mild. Especially when I'm working on a dark skin glow, I don't really like too much glow. But on my fair skin queens, I like it a lot. Just to pop the towel. Then wrap it in. Still smile. Smile again. So now it's the Younger Beauty I'm going in with, so not compulsory to put a lot of this on the skin, you know. It's not. I like it shiny. Personally, I like this is shining a lot. So we're going to redefine the nose very well. But before then, let's do the lips. So I'm going to be using Xyron pencil, bold and cappuccino. Small. Our lips are small, so if we want it big, we can line out. Smile. So this is the first lippy. I am doing a nude lip. Smile. Because the lips are small, that's why I am lining out. Still not compulsory. If your lips are a bit big like mine, you can line in and not line out. So I'm going to be using this brown lippy from V Beauty, a little bit on top of this one. I'm just blending in. I'm just blending in. Cleaver. I need my pink lipstick, the sharp pink one. So I'm just going to go in with this. Here, let's get up. I'm blending through. This is from Mino Beauty, a very light pink. I'm blending. You need a blending brush. Yeah, completely. So, I've done the lip now. Is to reset our nose. And we are done. So, to reset our nose, this is what I do. I use just powder still. A lighter and a darker powder. So I'm tracing the lighter powder in the middle of the nose. I don't like bronzer all over the nose. I like it rightly sculpted. So that's it with the highlights, and I'm just still going to go in with the dark powder. Every lighter powder from beside the nose. Now it looks more natural. So, and also check underneath the eyes, up again, for every excesses. Now I'm using a shade of powder, an exact shade of powder to do this. We're no longer doing highlights and contour, but I'm doing the last cleaning with a shade of powder. So this is it again, this lip one. So we're just going to switch lip to a red lip. I hope you like the looks. I like my favorite. I don't show, sorry.